everybody, and welcome back to the United Stand. It is the Fans Forum. We've got a win. It's 2 Manchester United, 1 Chelsea. But in all honesty, generally could have been like a 6-2 game, a 5-1 game, whatever you call it. Man United should have scored more goals. But not only did we get a win, we got a performance. We've got both things. So amazing. I just want to start the show before I introduce any guests. On the build-up show, I said I didn't think Mctominay should be starting. How wrong was I? And how wrong was a lot of people? Scott Mctominay, absolutely brilliant today. How many times does he need to prove me wrong? He has to stay in this team. Even though he's been poor recently, he's been brilliant again today and he cannot stop scoring. So just wanted to start off with that.
Listen, I was always Ten Hag in. I told you guys about Eric Ten Hag. You didn't believe in me, but Ten Hag did. There you go. Come on, mate. Let's have it.
Over to Zidane, yeah?
Are they flip-flops you've got on, Faz?
No, they're A6.
They're the finest pair of flip-flops.
A6, wait, don't flip-flop round here.
Primark
Come
flip-flops.
on, Eric.
Well, welcome guys to the forum. I think we're all just buzzing that we've got a win, to be honest, especially against the likes of Chelsea. But let's get started on Scott McTominay. I feel like we have to, because, okay, over the course of 90 minutes, his performance haven't been up to scratch over the last couple of games, but the guy is Man United's top scorer, and he just can't stop scoring twice now. He scored 2 times in a game in a 2-1 win for Man United. And I actually think not only with the goals today, he had the performance to match as well. I mean, Kev, I'll come to you first. Scott McTominay, what do you think about him today?
Performance to match, exactly like you say. He's chipping in with the goals now, which is a major issue at Manchester United at the minute. The fact he's registered so many goals for United. He's talked himself into this team. You cannot look at him and think that there is no place for him at Manchester United. Chelsea, as a force, a midfield, I did think it was quite open today, but listen, you can only beat what is in front of you. I thought Scott McTominay he's done well. Really, really well. And he takes criticism from Manchester United fans, maybe rightly so in some sectors for performances that he has put in. We have sat on here so many times and said that he's gone missing in so many games. He is still liable to do that. So I do hold back slightly and think, right, he's had a good game this evening, but it was a tough game against Chelsea. But the main factor of this, he scored 2 goals. You know, no other Manchester United player on that pitch could do that, and he has done that. So in this sense, he's affected the game massively.
But not only did he score 2 goals, and by the way, the guy can finish. Headers as well have improved, and the first goal was brilliant. Obviously, shout out to Garnacho on the second goal. It was a great assist, and the whole team played really well. How many shots did we have in the end? Last time I checked, it was 28, but we must have had a couple more before the end of the game.
Well, even the chance in the second half at the Stretford, when it looked like he was going to score his hat-trick, he opened his body up. Got it all wrong, don't get me wrong, put it wide. But a mate of mine I was sat with, had a couple of pounds on McTominay to score a hat-trick, and me and him were like, you know, when the moment, you just seen him open his body up, and we were both like, this is the moment. You know, a couple of 100 to 1 this was. Who puts a bet like that on at the start of the game? Don't get me wrong, he's devastated now. But at that stage, I'm thinking, wow, if that would have gone in, you know, we're talking like 600 odd quid for a £2 bet. I'm like, that's impressive. Yeah. But he found himself in the positions. Yes, he missed that one, but again, he's there. Who else is getting into these positions and missing chances? You know, but he suck his today.
I'm calling him from now on. Robin van McTominay.
Wow.
The guy can finish. I'm joking.
Zinedine McTominay.
The guy can finish, honestly. But I wanted to get onto it also. How many people McTominay's been slated. I'm not looking at the guy who owns this channel, but no, seriously. But he does keep scoring, doesn't he? But Mordz, he had the performance to match as well.
My thing with McTominay, I've always said that there's 2 sides of him. There's the side where he's given us what we kind of didn't expect him to give us, which is a positive, because we really, our attacking players, our goal threats haven't been giving us any goals or even assists. How many goals have we got between them? Like 3, 4. And McTominay and even other midfielders like even Casemiro and other players have been giving us these goals that, like I said, our attacking players haven't been giving us. So it's a positive that he's doing that. But then there's always the flip side with McTominay, where it's when he's playing in the position where we really wanted him to play as a 6, as a DM, or maybe like an 8/6, he wasn't putting in them kind of performances, and that was always the problem. It was like, okay, we can put him on the pitch and hope that he scores, but really and truly, that's not what we want from him. You know what I mean? What we want is for Hojlund to be getting these kind of goals. That's when we're really going to be excited. And
does it really matter who's getting the goals?
It doesn't matter, but I'd rather Hojlund get goals than Mctominay because he's our long-term solution as a goal scorer. And I'm not trying to say discredit Mctominay at all. It's just amazing that he's getting these goals, but I really want our actual goal scorers to be getting in those positions. Hojlund, I thought he was a bit quiet this game. I know we're going to get onto him in a sec, but I just think our attacking players need to be following suit and at least trying to snatch in a couple more goals as well as a Mctominay or a Bruno or something like that. So it was a good game for Mctominay. I'm not trying to discredit him, but I'm just saying maybe our over-attacking players and also him in his actual position need to put in them good performances without having to get a goal to try and boost him up.
I mean, I agree with you. The attack probably does need to contribute a little bit more. I mean, Hojlund's still not scored a goal. People will talk about whether, you know, it's because the team aren't providing whatever the thing is. He did have a good shot in the first 5 minutes, but we did create a lot of chances today, and I feel like we battered Chelsea. Yeah, they had their chances, and I thought, you know, our defence first half looked very easy to get through. Yeah. But altogether, the team played really well, and that role of Mctominay, you know, drifting out to the right, getting involved with them patterns of play with Anthony and Dallo, I think it works well when he's on his game like he was today. Faz, final say on Mctominay, were you happy with him?
Look, Mctominay getting the goals, I'm not going to take away the shine from him, but what I'll say is it's great that we are creating these chances for the team. Whoever's in the position to score the goal should be scoring the goal anyways, you know, when you create chances like that. But my issue is, why is it that we need a huge, terrible performance like Newcastle to motivate us to go and play this type of football? We should have been keeping a certain level like this anyways. That's what I'm expecting, just as a standard for Manchester United. And I hope Eric can use this to motivate the players going forward, because some huge games mixed with a bit of luck is going to come up as well. You know, Bayern, and depends on what happens with the Galatasaray Copenhagen, Liverpool of course as well, and then comes the business end, the second half of the season, January time as well. So Manchester United will give you this injection of adrenaline, but then boom, they'll give you an injection of vaccine as well, and then you'll be sat here thinking, what's happened?
That's something that annoyed me about Saturday night's non-existent performance against Newcastle, was the fact that Eric Ten Hag after it used the excuse of, you know, the players aren't robots, they played a lot of games. And I'm looking at Newcastle's squad and thinking, well, they've had a lot of injuries, and the same team, I think they played three games on the bounce since against PSG. That was the same team that played against Manchester United. Yeah. You know, so you have to look and think, you can't really use that as it's no way an excuse. And we all knew watching that game on Saturday night that for some reason these players were well off the pace. And I said, I can take getting beat if it's the better team, if we just have an off day. That wasn't an off day. It was criminal that players just down tools, weren't running, didn't look interested, didn't look like they were playing for the manager, which is obviously where these so-called stories have come up from this week. Nothing to do with us, folks, here on the United Stand. We've not been banned from, you know what I mean, press conferences.
To be fair to, you know, Ten Hag, he's come out swinging after that game. He's really
rightly so.
Looks like he's fighting. And even I was watching just on the TV before Mctominay's post-match interview, and obviously actions speak louder than words. Actions on the pitch tonight, but he spoke really well. He said how disappointed and frustrated that the whole team were in the dressing room with the abysmal performance against Newcastle. He really did kind of take responsibility, as they should. And he actually named in his post-match interview players tonight. Anthony was one of them, Garnacho was one of them, Bruno was one of them. He said he could keep naming players who really turned up and kind of turned up and put a performance on, which is exactly what they needed to do. But I've got a few quotes out because we're going to speak a bit about Eric Ten Hag. And I think tonight is one of the first times I've seen an actual style of playing. I think I know it looks like I kind of can see what we're trying to do moving forward. So we'll speak about that for a little bit. But Amrabat got interviewed post-match, and he got asked about Eric Ten Hag, and he said he's one of the best in the world. He's a fantastic coach, and we are all behind him. So they're not, you know, they're meaningful words that he spoke there. And Ten Hag was speaking to the media. He said he got asked, multiple media said 50% of the dressing room lost their faith in you. How did that affect you? He said, it didn't, because I know the truth and you have seen the truth tonight.
I like that.
And then they got asked, so who made the choice not to let the media in the press conferences? And he said, the club and me together. They have to follow the protocols. This is how we work together. And if they don't do that, this happens.
Yeah, but I mean, if Manchester United star player can get benched, then England's star newspaper can get benched as well. It's the same as. But
guys, style of play tonight, from what I saw, obviously you had, Garnacho, Bruno and Shaw first half really working away in that triangle there. Reguilon kind of overtook that position in the second half. By the way, Roberto Carlos or Shardini, you can do either one. Then you had on the right side, you had Anthony Dallo and Mctominay linking up really well. Amrabat holding his own in there. And the press actually really worked together as a unit today. So is this more of what you want to see, Faz?
Yes, I said that 3-1-6, I was totally against it. I was adamant I was against it. And you can see he's scrapped that 3-1-6 where he's almost keeping everybody in a militant system line, trying to pass sideways ball, trying to get a through ball into the box or over the top and get a goal. What I'm liking is the team is able to not only concentrate on one side. If let's say Anthony's getting some spells, but then it's not working, they'll swap to Garnacho. They'll keep the opposition guessing. And the number one thing that I'm really enjoying is how Bruno Fernandes isn't running around like a headless chicken. That is this is where he's really able to flourish, he's able to shine, he's able to make some good passes and be in the right areas at the right time. One of the reasons why the midfield is vacated, because people say Mctominay doesn't make himself available, the DM is left alone, and then Bruno is in somewhere totally else because he's got a free roam. But you've seen the players kind of keep shape, keep a bit compact. When they need to go to the side, they move together to the left. It was real organised, and it almost seemed like Chelsea got caught with a bit of surprise. I don't think they expected it, but make no mistake, Chelsea had numerous chances. Mudryk, Nicholas Jackson, Sterling, obviously Palmer.
We had more.
We did have more, but game could have gone. Listen, we had more, but in a game like this, if they had a little bit more sharpness in finishing, it could have been 2-1 to them, and then the game goes totally different way. We need to be aware of these things. I can get carried away with the excitement, but the way they were counter-attacking us, and they looked dangerous against some good teams like Villa, for example, this season. They will punish us, so we just need to address that bit. But overall, it was good. It was good that we created so many chances.
The thing with style of plays is that it's very reliant on personnel, because you can have an amazing style of play, but if you ain't got the right players to play it, it's going to look like it's all over the place. In fact, it's going to look like you don't have a style of play, you don't have the right players to be able to play those certain roles and certain positions. For example, someone like Luke Shaw playing centre-back, I think that was essential to the style of play, because having a left-footed centre-back means that you can have more options when passing the ball and moving forward. So him doing that, Ten Hag getting these plays into them positions, being able to put Reguilon on. I think when Reguilon came in over Lindelof, he played a lot better, just because I don't think Lindelof is a natural left-back anyway, so it doesn't really make sense.
Left-sided centre-back.
Left-sided centre-back anyway, and because he was playing, the way how Ten Hag obviously plays is he pushes centre-backs very wide anyway, and Amrabat usually drops in deep. But yeah, I just don't think Lindelof Reguilon playing in that position, I think he's a lot better, especially going forward and being able to move the ball. So, like I said, I think personnel-wise, because we're getting these kind of players back into the team, it means that we'll be able to see the style of play a lot more clearly, instead of it being players playing out of position, like an Amrabat playing left back or something like that.
I think on reflection of what we've seen this evening, the question you have to ask yourself, and what you watched at St James's Park, is, from the pressing style of play that Manchester United played this evening, is Manchester United a better pressing team without Martial and Rashford in the team?
Oh, absolutely. I have no. I mean, obviously,
the intensity this evening.
You have to do it for more than one game, but if one player or two players is letting you down, it lasts the whole
You will get Rashford and Martial fans, don't get me wrong, they'll say that was a one-off at St James's Park, but you have to view it in context, and that game, it was shocking. And you just mentioned about Bruno, the headless chicken that he can be when he's trying to set the press. I think when you've got the front three right there, and you've got a team that actually presses and everybody knows what they're doing, Bruno Fernandes doesn't need to do that. So he can stick to his game and he can dictate play. He's much more comfortable than being this, like I say, headless chicken that's running off and he looks erratic. It doesn't work, but that's Bruno. That's Bruno for you.
Got a few super chats in here. So a lot of people, welcome to the United Stand Members Club. Jonathan Jow and D. Booge. And Anthony Tracy says Mctominay equals second coming of Marouane Fellaini. MUFC and music, Scooby-Doo, let him speak, Simon. Andy Cheatham says Scooby-Doo-be-doo. Daniel Lee says consistency is going to be key. Now, yes, Onana could have been a better position-wise, but Anthony was good. Hojlund was a workhorse and Amrabat man of the match for me. Son Heung-min, Fazzy looks beautiful, and I love Beth. This fan base is amazing. I'm coming in January. Let's go United. Thank you, Son, again for your super chat. Gary83 UK says Bruno's end product and penalty was poor today. We'll speak about that because I thought Bruno had an unbelievable game apart from obviously the penalty, but we'll speak about it. Aka Keedy says, why does Mark blame Onana for everything? It's frustrating. I'm not reading the last bit. Cole says, love performance today. Credit to McTominay, but still a danger to us. With Onana, we're going to give Amrabat, Hojlund, Mount time, but we need to give him some time too. He's up and down, but you can see he's got talent. Eric Ten Hag in. But John Nesta says, hiya Ricky's grandson, a future fortune teller. Yeah, shout out to Freddie, Ricky's grandson on the build-up.
Yeah,
he said 2-1 United and he got it right. We've got the professor and the student, Ricky's grandson, moving through the ranks. And D-Boo says, Ghana is Starboy, 7 shirts. And Anthony Tracy says, level with City as they kick off on Sunday. Madness. I mean, that's only if we win on Saturday. Which is crazy. The fact we're 3 points behind City absolutely blows my head off. It's weird. But Aston Villa, by the way, absolutely credit to them. But I want to talk about, before we move on to Bruno, there's so many things we can speak about tonight. And Anna, another one, because I know a lot of people have different opinions on that. But I want to talk about the front three because I think they deserve a shout out. Anthony, Hojlund and Garnacho, the guys didn't stop running today. That's what you expect. And yeah, okay, not everything was perfect, but they didn't stop running. I mean, Faz, Anthony has had a lot of stick. What did you make of his performance today?
He's clearly seen some of the quotes from certain ex-players online, and he's probably thought to himself, you know, actually, firstly, thanks to him and his representative for the exclusive interview. It's great that he's connecting with the fans. What I saw is, even when he's lost the ball or he looks like the ball is not near him, he's aggressive enough to kind of win it back. I've seen him win some great balls back today and, try and create an attack. And massive shout out to Garnacho as well, because it's a huge amount of pressure, to be starting in games like this against Chelsea at that age, teams not performing well. And he's fantastic left foot cross. I know he overhits it sometimes, but it's going to grow over the years. You're going to see him learn that. And we've missed a player being able to cross without having to find the perfect position. You know those beautiful crosses where you're not even looking, you just whip the ball in, like Luke Shaw does almost.
There was an instance in the first half where Garnacho did that, and I think Hojlund wasn't even expecting it because he's been so starved of service. But he drilled, like you say, he spanned, turned, bit like in the Manchester derby last season when he did it with Rashford. Rashford was in the right place at the right time. He did that today, and he sort of turned, span, and Hojlund was, he wasn't up with play, kind of slides in, and you look at that and you think, if them two can get a connection going together, this is what we're here for.
I think Garnacho brings back that original fearless winger that we've been missing. In my opinion, we've been missing in the Premier League. There's a couple players, Doku, a couple other players where they have that. I'm gonna go one-on-one every single time I get the ball. It's a one-on-one, me versus you, and I think I've got the better of you, and that's what Garnacho kind of brings to this team. I'm not saying Rashford doesn't bring it anytime, but when I look at Garnacho, I just think he's not scared of anyone. He's going 100% all game, and it's not just going forward; it's going back as well. When he loses the ball, he's sprinting back. He's working hard. He's thinking, you know what? I'm still trying to prove myself. He's still 20, 19? He's
18,
still got
18, I think.
18?
18, 19, okay.
Yeah, he's still very young anyway. He's still got that hunger to think, I've not secured my position yet. I'm still trying to work to be the number one left winger on this team, and you can see that in the way he plays, which is it's amazing. These things that he's doing now, it's it's playfulness. Because he's a young lad, he's made it into the Manchester United first team. He's gonna want to do amazing things. He even tried an overhead kick again today.
Him so much.
And you can see the braveness and almost a little hint of arrogance in him that, yes, I'm going to try it. And it's great. But over the years, as he grows older, these things are going to go down because he's going to have manager tell him, okay, now you need to start creating a bit more. Now you need to start. Because I noticed a couple times where Rasmus was not having a go, but was telling him, wrong decision. He was slapping the ground and saying, keep it on the floor, and I was here, you could have passed it to me. And he's going to learn these things. It's just finding a sink in the front three. The issue is, and I hate to put it like this, is Marcus Rashford is the issue. Because Marcus Rashford will disrupt this front three. Because the forward line will have to play a different style of football. The line behind them will have to play a different style of football because of Marcus Rashford. Not because Marcus Rashford is a poor player or whatever. He's just the type of player is, I accept him for that type. He's not this type of player where he's going to just cross it in the first instance, where he's going to fight for the ball, win it back, and then try and carry it forward and not over-dribble it and lose the ball and then just give up. All of the other wingers, the forwards, they all work hard. They try and win the ball back. They help their fullbacks. And when they need to, they try and, even if the ball is overhit, I keep saying it, at least they release the ball. Well, that's more important than anything.
I'm sorry, but this team stays as it is.
Yeah, that's what. Yeah.
But I know you say that, but if this system is going to work, Marcus Rashford will have to adapt. You can't just say I'm one thing and I'm not willing to adapt to be something else. Like look at City. Like Walker got benched out of the team for ages because he wasn't doing what Pep wanted him to do in that role. Now he's in and he's captain. He's doing really well. Like players have sat out of I know City's a different animal, but City's team because they're not willing to adapt to the way Pep wants. If this system's going to work, where I actually thought the front line today were pressing really well together, followed up by the fullbacks as well, and Amrabat did a good job too in the middle. It has to work as a system, and Marcus Rashford has to adapt to that. He has to put in the same work ethic that both Anthony and Garnacho did today. And if you can't do that, then you can't be part of the team.
This was kind of a point that I alluded to on like my van cam today. The preview of Manchester United Chelsea was. Because I read a couple of the comments, I'm more along the lines of if these players aren't on board with what Ten Hag wants to do, then they can go, why get rid of Eric Ten Hag at this moment in time? Because we've seen it with so many managers at Manchester United. It's the same thing every time. A new manager, for me, is not going to change it. So in that instance, I think you're absolutely spot on. It's Marcus Rashford and other players like Martial, they have to change their game. Now, if their ego's too big and they believe, well, and Marcus Rashford has scored whatever goals last season, all right, mate, but you're not doing it this season. And Anthony, Garnacho, whoever's playing at the minute, have put in better performances and better all-round performances. Yeah. They're actually performing and playing as a team better. Then I can't put you in the team. And regardless of what money he's on, this doesn't even come into it now. Whatever he's done, great things, squeaky clean, sells shirts or whatever, we need to get past this, man, because it's happened with so many players at United.
Yeah. This is what really frustrated me about what Micah Richards said when, Carragher, Keane and Micah Richards having that conversation about Rashford. I do think Rashford is a really good player. I just don't think he's hitting the levels, and I can't excuse effort levels. But Micah Richards chimed in. And I do like Micah Richards, but I just thought what he said was completely off the mark. And he was like, he basically excused Rashford for his lack of work ethic. He said, yeah, but look at the players around him in that team. Them players played today and he was dropped out and we were miles better.
He plays the system.
Terrible all season, so don't blame players around you.
You all contribute to that system.
Game. Yeah. But
I was just going to say, remember a couple of weeks ago we used to have a disagreement that we pair Bruno and Rashford together to drop them. Well, now we have the answer. It's not Bruno it's not Bruno and Rashford, it's Rashford. We've dropped him, we've got a solution that worked. Yes, granted it's Chelsea 10th, but Eric, please don't change this team. Maybe, the centre-backs you can work with Lindelof and whatever, but every single player, other than Kobe Mino as well, coming into that team, everything is solid. Just tweak the team a little bit and go with that. Don't try and go crazy scientific with it and start putting Rashford back in straight away. Don't do that because you'll just disrupt the team.
And at the same time, we don't want to get too excited. This is Chelsea who... they haven't been pulling up trees this season. It's not a top of the league kind of clash where we can look, but it's a step in the right direction. And I think anything, when we look at what happened at St James's Park on Saturday night, to take a win tonight against a team like Chelsea, and the vultures were circling, they were looking at this, and it was a potential banana skin. Because Chelsea have come on the back of a great win against Brighton. They would have been coming to Old Trafford thinking, right, United, wounded animal or whatever, but it's just great to see that you know the players have stood up tonight. Every single one that was chosen have gone out and done a job. I'm happy with that.
Yeah, I agree with you there, Kev. Another thing about Garnacho is he had Reece James on strings. He seriously did. And something I'm loving, and I thought it was near perfect tonight. Near perfect, wasn't quite, because like you said, Garnacho, he's so brave, and I love that about him. Did make some wrong decisions, but I accept that because no one's ever going to make the right decision 100% of the time. He's constantly trying new things, and yeah, he could have passed it a bit more, shot a few times when maybe he should have passed, but that relationship with Bruno on the left-hand side, of them two linking up, with Luke Shaw involved as well, I thought it was brilliant. Like, you know, Bruno faking the shot to pass it through to Garnacho, that helped him making the first goal, I think it was. But Bruno's overall performance as well, I mean, apart from the missed penalty, which really poor penalty, but I thought Bruno ran the game, especially in the first half. I thought he was great. His passing was excellent, the way he dictated from the middle, his pressing, his work rate. Bruno's work rate's unmatched for me. That last-ditch tackle when they were
that was nice.
But I mean,
that was nice.
Mordz, what did you make of Bruno? Because a lot of people critical because, you know, maybe a few of his corners were off and he didn't score that penalty, but his overall game. Yeah,
I mean, obviously, everyone's going to focus on the penalty. It was a bad penalty, I'll be honest. It was not the greatest. He did that little hot step thing. I don't know why he still does it. When he stopped doing it, he was scoring anyway, so he should have just carried on not doing it. But aside from that, I mean, he even said in the press conference that it's 50-50 penalties in his opinion anyway. He said it's 50-50, so I'm not really going to get onto him too much about that. I think the most important thing is, like you said, the way how he was controlling the game. And I always say that in the midfield, that free, because nowadays in modern football, it's a 3v3 in midfield all the time. So you want to be able to have a good balance of three midfielders that can do different roles in that midfield to be able to control the game. And I think Bruno's involvement in being able to pick the right passes, because he is a very risky player, and that's one thing that people do. I criticise him for it anyway, because I feel like he does always look for that risky pass. He always looks for the magical assist and whatnot. But I think today he kind of slowed it down a little bit. I think he thought that there's a lot of chances. There's a lot of times where you get the ball in midfield, and instead of him first time trying to get it to Hojlund or first time trying to get it to Anthony, he took his time a little bit more. He found the right pass and he worked the ball a lot better in midfield. And I think, again, it's that three. So him being able to work well with Mctominay and with Amrabat and them all being able to have a good cohesion in midfield is what kind of helped the team in general.
Bruno works great when he's got movement, and that is evident this evening when you've got Garnacho, Hojlund and Anthony. It's totally different for Bruno Fernandes. It makes his game so easy. He can get his head up, like you say. He's probably looking for the Hollywood pass or whatever. But this evening, you've got players that actually want the ball. They're screaming, crying for it. They're making intelligent runs. They're stretching defences. And you don't have to just make a run looking for the ball. If you make a run and you drag a defender out of line, it gives Bruno more time. You know, he can carry that ball a bit further forward and go, all right, look. You know, and he's coming onto that defence, and then it's a game changer. It's totally different to a Martial and a Rashford that we've seen at St James's Park, where the movement was. That's why Bruno was turning back round and passing balls back, and people are going, "What's he doing? You know, why is he giving the ball back? Because there's nothing on. He's trying to retain possession."
Sometimes as well with Bruno, I feel like he's got eyes in the back of his head. Like he'll be on the ball and.
Some of the passes this evening,
and I think no way he can pass his way out of this. He'll somehow backheel it back to Shaw, and like them 1-2s that they were doing were really nice because Chelsea, you know, they've had their ups and downs, but they've got some good players on that team. But Faz, I want to speak. I thought Bruno was crucial for us playing out from the back as well. Okay, we can talk about Onana's save in a second and whether he should have saved it, but I thought playing out from the back today we were actually a lot better, and we especially used that left-hand side of Shaw, Garnacho and Bruno to do that. I mean, we were a lot more confident seeing the players on the ball and actually asking for it and being open to it. And Onana was actually looking around and he had options on. Yeah,
I think at one moment I saw Onana make a really nice pass with his left foot whilst he was getting pressed in his box. I still, the playing out from the back is been good, but I feel like this is something that they probably worked on the training ground anyways, and they just weren't able to execute it in games. That's why the games have been so poor. This is the standard that they should be doing under this manager. This is what we wanted to see. I'm just a bit surprised how Onana, when he came into Manchester United, he was much higher up naturally to get involved and push the team higher up and push the opposition a bit further back. And we're not doing that. That's just what I find interesting. It's not a criticism. I just find it interesting as each game's gone on. He's gone a couple of yards behind, and now he doesn't walk
safety,
out of his
safety.
It is safety. But I'm intrigued to see if he does that as the season progresses on. But I think having Dalot and Luke Shaw in your back line just gives you that little bit of calmness, because both of these players can receive the ball, and you need fullbacks that can receive the ball if you're going to play out from the back, especially when teams are going to press in threes and your CDM, your two centre-backs are marked, and then they curve their run to mark the goalkeeper. You're going to need fullbacks who can receive the ball, and Luke Shaw's a master at that. His first touch is impeccable, and Dalot's so good at beating a man as well, from his own half and carrying the ball. So yeah, it was good. It was good.
To be fair to Onana, we'll speak about in a second. I mean, Kev, do you think he should have saved it?
If I'm going to answer as a kind of politician, I would say I'm just glad that Manchester United won this game this evening, because I think if we didn't, he would have definitely been scapegoated without a shadow of a doubt. I think I only seen it back at half-time maybe once or twice, and I do kind of look at it and I think I said to him, mate, maybe if you want to be highly critical, I'm like, if he stood on his line, it looks like he goes down quite slow, but then I'm like, am I just seeing this through red-tinted specs where I'm thinking, Onana, is he at fault, or is it a great finish? Is Onana expecting Cole Palmer to pull that shot off from the angle? Is it just a great finish? Maybe we can say that now because United
For me,
won.
I feel like if it's any other team at the moment, it doesn't get that much scrutinised. It's because Onana's had a few howls.
Again, there would have been front and back page of the papers tomorrow. If, let's say, Chelsea went on to win that this evening, I do think that Onana would have been, it would have been this all in on Onana thing. I don't get it. The guy dropped his car keys in a car park, and it was like front page news. Yeah. It's like,
when I was watching it, and I'm trying not to be biased, but when I was watching, I've watched it back as well. Okay, maybe he could have done better, but I think it's really harsh. It's fully in bottom corner. Yeah, it is going a bit slow, but it's fully in bottom corner, and he's like Greg, our producer, used to be a goalkeeper at City's Academy. He was saying when your whole weight's on your right and someone puts it bottom corner, to get over there,
yeah, sure,
it's pretty tough. What I was watching thinking was, how on earth did Cole Palmer get from this side of the box to that side of the box and be allowed to take a shot with three defenders around him? Any time they got near our box in the first half, I was very, very worried because we were way too open. Moving Shaw to left-sided centre-back in the second half was a masterstroke. In-game management, this is what we've been asking for, because Lindelof was a shocker. He really was a shocker first half, and I don't want to be harsh, but he was. He really, really was.
There's a reason he got brought off.
Even Maguire looked better second half. I don't think that partnership really works with them two. So, okay, Onana could have done better, but we really need to work on being a little more dominant in the box and not allowing players to have much time in there. But
Well, Faz, you were the man behind the goal in the Stretford end when that went. Initial thought when it went in, did you actually think that's a soft goal? Or?
Yes.
Because listen, when you're at the game, you only get to see it within a split second. So did you think it was soft? And thinking, how has that managed to end up in the back of the net?
I've not watched it. I've obviously not watched it back yet. And my just thought from when I saw it, and the whole crowd around me they're furious with Onana and why that's gone in, because in our eyes it's rolling. It's not even a shot.
So
it's
it
almost like a
slow
pass.
motion.
That's how it looks like. People pass the ball harder than that, and I look at it this way: when Cole's gone across the goal and Onana shifted his body to kind of cover the near post. Why you don't need to cover the near post like a glue,
It wasn't that far over.
I know, but if he's shifted all his body weight that way, what is he thinking that he's gonna? Because the ball was in an angle. It's not like from a central position where he can go this side or this side. He's already gone past the halfway of the box, and he's gone across, and the ball's come across him. And I'm thinking, how have you not realised that from that angle to get here is going to be easier for you to save? So you might as well make sure you're ready in case he, whips the ball in so someone can tap it in, or like a cutback. He's just not ready, and you see him obviously try and save it, and he's like, oh, it's nothing. He can't get there, and it's almost those scenarios where against Galatasaray, he could have got his hand on one of the free kick, and his hand is on the floor instead, and he's like, oh, I'm not gonna get there, so I'm not gonna give it. I've seen goalkeepers.
I think hold on. Harsh.
The reason why is
sometimes you've got to sit back and just say, what a great shot.
It wasn't a great. No, that's my opinion. It wasn't a great shot because there are keepers who are like cat-like reflexes and they're very athletic, where they're able to shift their body. Onana just isn't great at that. When it comes to low shots, in the low regions of the goal, he's just.
Personally, I thought it did look like it was in slow motion, but I need to see it again.
You're forgetting there was two players in front of him as well. He's blocked to blocking the ball.
Yeah, I can understand that. Well. Yeah. I don't know the pace of the ball, and I don't know what. In my eyes, it's just.
Greg shaking his head.
Here's one for you. Our keeper in the back room shaking his head, Faz. But anyway, I get why people could see it either way. I think it's one of them where you think, you look at it at first glance, you think, oh, maybe, but then you're also like, oh, it was a good shot. But at least we won the game.
We'll put it down to one of them. De Gea would have saved that moment.
No, I wouldn't say that. But I've seen.
We're not talking though.
Listen, Onana is a big goalkeeper. Physically, he's a big goalkeeper. Yeah. Listen, this is biologically, physically, he's a big goalkeeper. It's going to be harder for him to shift all of his body weight onto. I'd love to know what's the weight difference between David De Gea and Onana and some of those other keepers.
Do not give
yeah, but you don't care. But I look at football in a way where I care because these type of things affect your ability to jump.
I don't care about that because we've moved on now, and I think this is
well again
going back in time.
Yeah, but I said that before. We don't move on that quickly. As the season goes on, if Onana lasts as long as David De Gea lasted in his career, I wonder the comps people would make of Onana's mistakes. But I don't think today was a mistake. I think he could have done better.
This is like talking to Beth about an old ex. She's like, no, I'm over that. Let's move on.
Yeah, well, I literally wish all the best, but you've got to kind of move on with what you've got. But here's a good stat from Opta. 2.78. Manchester United had an XG of 2.78 in the first half against Chelsea. That's the most any side has accumulated in the first half of a Premier League game this season. Really? Again, proof is in the pudding. We should have scored more goals, but also brilliant display. As I said, it really was. But let me read out a few super chats and we'll move on with the show. Amrabat is a good talking point. Arud says, anybody notice the inside leak? I think it's Wan-Bissaka. I don't think you can just name players and say I think it's them.
You're clutching at straws unless you actually know.
Why would you
say that? It's important. We have I feel like we have a responsibility to educate the fan base and share knowledge with the fan base as well. One of the things I will say today to all of the people viewing: stop trying to think that it's a player leaking.
Yeah, it could be.
It could be so many. I'll tell you a scenario. In a particular club, a report came out in a Premier League club, and someone was walking past the dressing room, heard something, and they heard, I was sharing this with my friend, they heard a voice of a particular individual speaking with someone in a particular accent, and they knew who the player was. Right?
Without actually seeing it.
Yeah, because they've not seen it. They just heard shouting and screaming, and they've heard the accent from the changing room, and they've gone in, obviously, said whatever, and people think it's the player. It might not be the player. Stop trying to. Fans get so carried away about saying this Martial and Rashford, because I did a tweet asking people, well, these players. Everybody says these players. Lingard is gone, Pogba's gone, Henderson is gone, Ronaldo's gone, David is gone. So who are these players? And people are like, Rashford, Martial.
You can guess anyone.
You can stop thinking and narrowing just to Rashford and Martial. Like, it could be the most craziest person in the whole organisation that could have said something to someone, and it's Chinese whispers, and a journalist has made a story out of it. So we shouldn't do that as fans. Just narrow it on.
And let's not forget how easy it is to attach that word sources. Yeah. You're not telling anybody, and we know the people that were banned from the press conference or whatever. All you have to do is fire in this word and say, my sources are telling me, well, who?
Well, tell you what, we need to get Colleen Rooney on the case. She'll find out who it is. Yeah. But a few more super chats. Sally Ahmed says, shout out to Amrabat, his best performance so far. Anthony Bethel says, if we win against Liverpool, can I have a date, Beth? Potentially, yeah. Matt's Aviation says,
so what about the date you went to Christmas market with? Poor guy, man.
What's this?
She went to Christmas market with someone and just pied him off.
No, I did not.
Poor guy, man.
Absolutely Faz, will you
Beth,
shut
Did you or
up?
did you not go to Christmas market?
No, I didn't.
You didn't go to Christmas market in London?
Faz, no, I went with my friends. Oh, my friends.
You left your friend
You
there.
friend zoned him now.
It wasn't I went with my girl mates to
Oh,
Wonderland.
okay.
Oh, all right. Faz Fancy's one of my friends, and he keeps asking.
No. This, you see? This
is a great game of tennis. This is back and forward.
Time out.
Anyway.
I don't fancy girls. As in, like, I don't fancy no girls.
Wow, this has gone really full circle.
I've not been on a date recently, just to put that out there. Matt's aviation, men for 15 months. And Anna uses a collapse dive, which is meant for shots in your body range. He should use a power step dive instead, which is why he doesn't get close to it. Chris said Palmer's shot has an 82% save rate per John Harrison. Who is that? Seeing Old Trafford says, from a Chelsea perspective, I didn't see anything different from United. I think Chelsea let you play as good as you did. United start well, but Chelsea allowed it to continue. James Young says, show some love for Kev, one of the best on the United stand, and credit to Ricky for championing Mctominay all along. But John Nestor says, love your shows, Beth, the real super sub, but Faz is clearly the cute one. The rest is just not pretty enough to care. Petty enough to care. Anthony Tracy, no square pegs in round holes, and we played well. And Son Heung-min says, is Kev talking to imaginary people in the pre-game shows going to be a regular thing from now on? We're all for it. I'm all for it too.
Thank you.
And Keishan says the key was honestly finally dropping Rashford. He didn't even look happy to come on, probably. I'm not reading the rest of that out. Also, Anthony, since the interview is fire. Anthony's interview, suddenly he's playing well. It's not a coincidence. Adam says, Amrabat, isn't it? Anthony Tracy's... Oh, I've done that one. So we're up to date with all the super chats. Thank you, everyone. Matt Thrower says, we all know who the leak is. It's the roof. Sid T says, not blaming the lad, but is everyone forgetting Rasmus' shocking miss after Bruno penalty? And Anna's distribution was class today because he had options. And Anna's distribution was brilliant as well. Yeah, it really was, I thought. But, you know, with Hojlund, we will touch on him a little bit. But before we speak on him, I think a big talking point is Amrabat today, because I've seen some people saying he's man of the match. He was excellent. The stats from today's game are brilliant when it comes to Amrabat. I think he won the majority of his duels. The stats are great for him. But then some people saying they still don't think he's the level that we need. But I personally thought he was good today. What did you guys think?
I don't think he was man of the match, in my opinion.
That's a bit
No, I don't think he was man of the match, but did you think he was good?
Yeah, he was definitely, but the whole team was really good. I think one thing I enjoyed is how aggressive, again, he was trying to, retain the ball. At times, he was like running towards his own goal, and it seemed like someone's going to push him over and win the ball back, but he held his own today. And I still don't think, though, that he's the player that Manchester United need for the years to come, I'll be honest.
Not a starting player, but he is.
No.
I think he's just still in the squad.
You think we should buy him to keep him on the bench?
As long as we're not paying like 90 million, I think, yeah.
I don't know. I'm not sold yet. I haven't seen something extraordinary. Looking at how, Kobe Mino plays with him, I need to see that as well and see how that works out. It's just one game of good performance isn't enough.
For me, I think sometimes he looks a little bit leggy, but I thought he did well to handle that Chelsea midfield. There's some good players in there. I thought he was in the right place at the right time, and he kept things ticking.
That's very well you should say that, actually, because I think with Amrabat, we're in this kind of position where it's almost like taking him for a bit of a test drive at the minute. And I think if I'm driving the car, I'm kind of looking at Amrabat and I'm thinking, I'm not 100% sure when I get back to the showroom. I think I'll be handing the keys back in and going, can I go home and just think about it this minute in time? But again, I need to kind of back down and think, he's not had a run of games. So if this is the start of a run of games at Manchester United and he starts to improve and get better and better, then yeah, I'm all behind it. But we are in that position where it is a loan at the minute with a kind of view to buy. But I wouldn't put him down as man of the match this evening. I don't know whether anyone else agrees or disagrees with that, but I seen him having a better second half than he did first half. I thought the first half, I'm kind of looking, and again, he's quite erratic. He runs around a lot, which again, it is great, but it's being effective as well, which I thought he was in the second half?
I think with Amrabat, it's just about controlling what he's good at. Because I think when he first came in, he was, like you said, a bit erratic. He was all over the pitch, and it's like sometimes we don't need you to be everywhere. We kind of just want you to be in the right positions. Similar to like what Casemiro is. Casemiro's not a player that you'll see all over the pitch, but he's in the right places at the right times, and that's what he's good at. And I think if Amrabat kind of develops that into his game, and he's not just one time he's in the left corner and the next time he's at the right corner, it's like be in the right places at the right times, and then utilise your attributes to the best that you can do. And then that way we'll see the best, in my opinion, that's where we see the best in Amrabat. But until he kind of figures it out, I think he figured it out today, but like you said, consistency. If he keeps on doing that game after game.
That's what it is, building on it, yeah.
Building the consistency, and then we'll see a better player.
We need someone in there to keep it simple. Jesus, I mean, we really do. Some of his passes were a bit iffy. I think he had one, but I think overall he played a good game. I don't think it was anything special, but I think it's good to, like you said, to kind of hopefully kick him off, and I would definitely start him again next game. But here's one, this is the stat I wanted to bring up. Amrabat made 11 ball recoveries, more than any other player, and completed 100% of his tackles. So well done to him, and we'd all start him again next game.
Yeah. I'm a firm believer in if it's not broke, don't fix it. It just depends what Ten Hag looks at now, because you know what he's like. Well, come Saturday, is he going to mix it up that much that it just ruins all the chemistry in that team? And you're like, why have you done this? Don't be looking ahead to just take one game as it is at this moment in time. Look at this Chelsea performance, what you've got from these group of individuals as a team. And yeah, the only way you can work on that is by playing this same team again and getting hopefully the same result. And
one more thing I was going to say is, for all the people who say that like players like Rashford should be dropped, and when Anthony was in a bad form as well, everyone was calling for him to be dropped, and other players like even Onana, everyone's saying Onana should have been dropped and whatnot. If you're going to have that energy for players based on form, you also have to have the flip side energy, and when players are playing good, also call for them to be played again. You can't have one energy for one side and say all these players who are playing bad should be out of the team, but then when a player puts in a good performance, it's like, oh, but it's just one performance. No, if a player plays well, let's keep that energy and keep that momentum and let them play again and continue to play them. That's why we're seeing Garnacho improve a lot over the past few games, because he's put in good performance and he's been rewarded with more game time. So keep that energy for players like Mctominay. Even I'm not really a big fan, but Mctominay, Amrabat, even Anthony, again, he's played well today. He should also get an opportunity to start again because he has played well.
Yeah, I agree with everything you're saying there. And yeah, next one on my list, have to fit them all together now, but I want to speak about the back line. So we'll speak a little bit about Shaw, Maguire, Dalot, but we'll start...
I think that's unfair.
What?
I think it's unfair. I think Dalot deserves his own segment.
Oh my gosh.
Really? I thought Dalot was good, but he needs to practice his crossing.
His own segment over Luke Shaw as well.
They both deserve a segment.
I think Harry Maguire deserves a segment then, because Harry Maguire was great.
Well, he was a winger at one point.
He was great. See him lunging across the pitch with them interceptions.
Spraying passes.
Yeah, it was good. But
okay, you speak of Dalot, I know he's your favourite.
Go on then. Here we go, everyone.
Here's
the Dalot
everybody,
section.
yes, that's I would
Dalot
love
corner
to play.
with Faz.
Listen, if anybody who's close to Diogo, please send this to him. We absolutely love you. There is not a single Manchester United fan that is critical of you. You keep doing what you're doing and you keep shining. This guy is exactly Manchester United through and through. And all of this thing about, oh, he can't do this, he can't do that. He was so good today. So good today. I'm looking at him on the pitch and I'm mesmerised. I'm actually mesmerised. He's beating players. He's beating players, carrying the ball. He's trying to cross the ball. He's running back, defending. He kept it clean, tidy.
He was good, but I think mesmerised is a little.
I am mesmerised.
He was just doing his job, Faz. Just doing his job.
Listen, okay, he was good, but you don't think some of his crosses could have been better?
7 out of 10.
Everybody's crosses could. Listen, everybody's crosses could have been better, but listen, his cross is going to be nominated for the Puskas Award. Because of his cross. Because of his cross.
Terrible cross.
Because of,
it was an overhit cross, man. We can't go here again.
It's all part of the master plan anyway.
It wasn't. He overhit the cross.
He's doing the right things. He's got the right attitude. His heart's in the right place. He's doing the right things.
He's going to be nominated.
He's good on the ball, but he needs some crossing lessons.
He's going to be nominated.
Okay, if he needs crossing lessons, ladies and gentlemen, Bruno Fernandes does as well.
What?
No.
Because in his corner kick, what did he do?
Okay, there's one corner. Bruno can
the corner kick happens. Everybody shouting Bruno. I'm shouting Bruno there. He's clapping the fans. You saw, he's clapping the fans, walking to the corner. he raises his hand, and I'm thinking, I wonder what raising his hand means. Far post, near post. He just gave it to the first guy. The ball didn't even get above hip level. I'm thinking, what's going on?
That was good.
But do you not think Bruno's crosses from corner kicks have been really bad?
Yeah. His
So there
corners
you
aren't
go.
good
It's the same energy.
But then he got taken off corners, so.
Yeah, but he's still taking them though. He still takes corners here and there and everywhere when Eriksen's not on the pitch.
But
so
when Bruno's on the pitch, his crosses are good when he's on the standstill point.
Okay, look. Today we're not scoring from
You
set
need
pieces
your right back
anyways.
to be putting some good crosses
Yes,
in.
we do. Yes, we do.
But he's doing the right things.
But he's doing the right things, and the most important thing is he's so passionate. He's so passionate about keeping the players together on the pitch. I can't tell you how important this is. We scored the first goal, right? And Andre is speaking to some fans. I don't know if you guys noticed this. No. He's speaking to some fans. And I don't know, he's doing like love heart gestures or whatever. I think the fan said something. This guy did not stop shouting Andre's name. Andre just looked at him and he's just like injecting positivity into him. Then he goes to the next player, injecting positivity into them. This is the type of players you want in Manchester United. The thing about ability and all of this, you can improve this. He's still a young player. He's not 27 years old. He's only 24, if I'm not mistaken. He's got years of football to come. The fact is, his mind is in the right place. He's a very disciplined. Cristiano, the best player in the world ever, has said that Dalot is one of the players who's very professional. That's what you want.
No, you're right. You're right. It's especially on that note, because I noticed as well when Onana did that brilliant ball to Garnacho and it led to something, but Garnacho took a shot and anyway, Sanchez saved it. Dalot turned around, went back over to Onana and was that brilliant pass. And his attitude and his mentality is spot on.
Perfect.
But
I like how he can even carry the ball. Listen, he's
outrageous. But we've got to move on because we've got.
There was numerous crosses that he was making that he should have had an assist. Same as Anthony
today.
There's
a poll in the chat. Who's our best right back, Dalot or Wan-Bissaka? For me, it's Dalot.
Who's winning?
Dalot at the moment, 60%. It's 60-40. You like Wan-B, don't you?
I'm a Wan-Bissaka fan.
I like Wan-Bissaka, but I think it's horses for courses. I think it depends on who you're playing.
Kev, it's a one-word answer. Right now, who's a better right back, Dalot or Wan-Bissaka?
Wan-Bissaka.
Right this minute in time, Dalot.
That's.
Sorry, you know my answer.
We'll say it.
Diego Dalot. I'll just get tatted like this. Diego Dalot. What else do you want me to do?
For me, it's Dalot as well. But I do like Wan-B, but for me, it's Dalot as well. But anyway, let's move on quickly. Harry Maguire and Luke Shaw. Kev, Mordz.
Great. I mean, I was gonna say, I think when Luke Shaw moved in centre back, I feel like he kind of gave that. We always talk about centre back pairings, innit? And it's about balance. We don't want two centre backs that are the exact same. I feel like Varane and Maguire, they were too similar, and it didn't really work out because one of them's they're both bright-footed, and they both kind of, like I said, they play similar games. But the fact that Luke Shaw is a very, very, very different player to a Varane or even a Lindelof, I feel like that complements Maguire as well, and it means that he doesn't have as much pressure when it comes to moving the ball forward, which is what I think benefits Maguire a lot. When he has the ball, I'm still worried. I still don't think he's going to make the right decision, but the fact that he can play the ball to a Luke Shaw and he can ease off and ease that pressure off him, I think that complements his game a lot. So I like that partnership a lot.
I think it works, and it's testament to Luke Shaw. Only just come back from injury. And I will back up what I've said before. I think Luke Shaw's the best left back at Manchester United, miles ahead of anybody else. I think he's the best centre back as well.
Oh,
and I'll pick him over.
Best centre back at United?
Yes.
Over Martinez?
Yeah. I think he's a better centre back. If I was going, let's just say, for instance, we're playing.
What did they feed you? You said
red wine.
It's not a wild shout, honestly.
No, it is a wild shout.
All I'm going to say.
No, I wouldn't say now he's a better centre back than Martinez, but Luke Shaw is top class.
Right, horses for courses, all right.
That's not disrespecting Martinez.
We're away at Liverpool.
Luke Shaw is top
Let's just say, for instance, when we play Liverpool, let's just say it was this Sunday, Liverpool away at Anfield. Who are you more comfortable with as a centre back there?
Martinez or
Luke Shaw?
As in a fit Martinez?
Yeah.
I'm picking Martinez over anyone. That's the first choice.
I do want to say it's not disrespect to Martinez.
I don't want to sound like Ricky here because I was going to say we got beat 7-0 there with.
Martinez is very good. It's not disrespect. It's not disrespect to Martinez to say that Luke Shaw is genuinely top class.
Yeah, I'm not disrespecting.
He's honestly brilliant. He is like.
I think it's testament to Luke Shaw.
We have to talk this over some drink and cigar. This is an interesting one. It's got my mind thinking.
Maybe we can have
I actually don't think it's a bad shout.
But we love Luke Shaw at left back so much. It's one of them.
Because he's good in the air as well.
One thing I will say, Faz,
Good on the
is
ball.
I
Quick.
still stand by my point from last week that we need a proper top-class right-back still. Like a Trippier or a Walker style.
Okay, we need a top-class striker as well then.
Oh, we can talk about that now.
Wow, we've got a whole new show.
Better left-sided centre-back polls in the chat. Quickly, before I do man of the match. Rasmus Hojlund got a little bit of stick, you know, still not scored a Premier League goal, but he's worked his absolute socks off. I mean, thoughts, panel, on Rasmus?
When we were linked with him, everybody said, oh, don't put any pressure on him, so please zip it. Absolutely zip it. He could have stinkers, don't say anything. Because you can't, he's 20 years old.
He's not had a stinker.
I know he hasn't, but I'm saying like he will have these performances.
He's not, but what he's going to be measured off now is this Premier League thing, and I remember
And the price tag.
Yeah, well, let's even put the price tag to one side. The goal scoring record in the Premier League. Yes, he scored Champions League goals, but I remember Diego Forlan at Manchester United. And what did he go? Like nearly 30 games without I was at Old Trafford the night he scored that goal. Everybody wanted him to score. And we're going through the same thing now with Rasmus. I think it's just like when he gets that goal, you know, it's lift off. But until
He's
then...
giving Weghorst vibes.
Yeah.
No,
he's not.
No,
But I mean,
he's
yeah, but wait,
not.
I know, not in the sense as he's like Weghorst.
Yeah,
I'm
just
saying,
'cause he's not scored
people
a
were
Premier League
dying
goal.
for Weghorst to score. Like Old Trafford, people were going to storm the pitch if Weghorst scored. That, like, it was
Weghorst scored,
yeah,
we're
we
on
were
the pitch.
Yeah, he's going to be like that.
For me, it's one of them where it's like, he literally got like one chance today, and he did a good shot. It was a tight angle, and he got saved. I do think, to be fair to Anthony, I thought he did really well on that left-hand side, making some nice passes. A few things didn't come off. Garnacho as well maybe could have made some decisions to pass to him a little bit more. But I still stand by my point, which was, by the way, I'm so glad we've got Hojlund, and I'm glad we signed him, but we should have signed him and another striker in the summer. Like, we were absolutely silly not to go for Harry Kane. We really were. We honestly were silly. And the fact that we didn't, I kick myself about it now. But, yeah.
Ivan Toney in January.
I don't think there's anything wrong with saying you want another striker as well. Like, I love Hojlund. He's 20 years old. He's going to develop into something special, I'm sure. But to have all that pressure now and every single game, like, he had to get subbed off again today purely for workload reasons, because you want to use him again because his energy and the way he plays, he puts everything into it. Like his sprints and his press, he puts everything into it. He's only 20, so you've got to rotate. And then who have you got coming off the bench? Rashford to play up front. I don't want that. I want two very good strikers and one with maybe a little bit more experience. But that's us. Yeah. We've got someone for the future for sure. I still believe that.
Yeah.
And you can watch him with your eyes and you can see he's good. And you don't really get that much opportunity playing up front for Man United. That's what we can say. But look, everyone, here's a quick stat for you that I just got sent. Mctominay, 12 games, 5 goals. Saka, 14 games, 5 goals. Speak to us.
Who gave you that stat?
Greg from his...
I thought Ricky did.
Producer Greg.
I thought Ricky did.
But anyway, guys, it's getting to the end of the show, so we are going to do our man of the match. This is a difficult one. Oh, no, it's not. It's not a difficult
I've got one.
Okay.
I've
man of
got
the match,
mine in my
Mordz.
head.
Garnacho.
Ooh. Good cross for the McTominay.
I was going to say Garnacho before Mctominay even got it. I think Mctominay played well, but I just thought like most of the action was coming from Garnacho. I felt like he didn't control the game, obviously, but I felt like the biggest threat was from him, even though Mctominay did score the goals, if that makes sense. I still feel like he created the most chances. He was the most dangerous player. I felt like whenever he got the ball, something was going to happen. McTominay did play well, and I would put him second, but in my opinion, before McTominay even got man of the match, I was thinking Garnacho should be man of the match.
Interesting stuff, Kev.
I have to agree. That was the name that was in my head, was Garnacho. I think for everything that was positive about Manchester United this evening come from that side. And yes, you've alluded to the fact that certain things didn't work, but he's one of them players, bums off seats. It's like when you're in the crowd watching him, you're expecting something to happen. He seems to be getting better and better. One of my criticisms has been, can he start a game and see it through? It was always cameo appearances, coming on when a game's stretched, when we're trying to get back into a game so the game's more open. I think he's adapting really well, and that's why I'm not taking anything away from McTominay. I just thought Garnacho, you know, if he wants to, his idol was Ronaldo. I was there for Ronaldo's debut, you know, in, 2004 against Bolton, when he come on as a sub. And United fans were frustrated with what we seen from Ronaldo at an early stage, the step overs, giving the ball away and that. But I'm hoping with Garnacho, once that clicks, getting the thought process right, making the right passes, decision making. He's going to be top quality. He already is at this moment in time. Lots to learn, but I'm glad he's at United and he's part of the journey.
Nice one, Kev. Good
Thank
little
you.
speech there. Yeah, I mean,
I
Faz.
find it very hard. I'm actually caught up between Luke Shaw and Scott McTominay.
Wow, mixed bag this.
Yeah.
Where are you going with?
I just want to be different.
No, I'm being deadly serious because Luke Shaw was really good today. Really
Luke
good.
Shaw was in my.
And
I'm stuck between them two as well. But I'm going with McTominay.
And McTominay got the 2 goals, and I don't like just giving players man of the match because they got the goal, but I think I'm going to give it to Luke Shaw. I think Luke Shaw, especially because he's just come back from injury and he's not, for a manager, not having the concern of load management on a player is such a beautiful thing. Like, I don't have to worry about how many minutes I have to play you. The watch on my, the alarm on my watch isn't going off thinking I need to take you off. I'm okay on this side. And I think he was really solid, and not really anything came from his area, mistakes or anything. So, yeah, I'll give it to Luke Shaw.
And Beth?
A lot of people are saying Amrabat in the chat. For me, it has to be Scott McTominay.
The thing is, though, everybody needs to understand. You all might have watched it, obviously, at home, and we're watching in the stadium. You obviously saw things that we didn't see.
Oh, yeah.
And you saw
totally
replays
different.
and stuff like that. We haven't seen that.
Yeah.
For me, it has to be McTominay.
And can I just
2
speak for
beautiful
Ricky?
goals.
Thought Reguilón was great in the second half. Reguilón's getting it for Ricky. I'll speak for Ricky.
No, trust
McTominay.
trust me, McTominay.
Yeah, of course it is.
I've got a paragraph about this long.
Followed by
McTominay
Reguilón.
on my WhatsApp that I need to go through. Yeah. But yeah, so we've got 2 for Garnacho, 1 for Shaw, 1 for McTominay. Love that, guys.
I like
Love
that. It's
a good
mixed
thing,
though,
though.
isn't it? And do you know what it shows? That Manchester United have played well. Because how
Who was
many
the official one?
McTominay.
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 How many performances have we had where we could probably pick 1 or 2 players,
Just about.
who have actually put in an all right performance, and we're scratching about looking for a man of the match? I think the fact that it's so kind of varied there shows exactly what United have done this evening.
It could have easily
It'll
been
do
Bruno
for
as
me.
well.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's
Could have
another
very easily
shout.
been Bruno, to be fair.
There's another one.
It's one of them, isn't it, where like, when you win, you're looking between all different players. When you lose, you're like, we're not doing a man of the match because, I feel like we've not done the man of the match.
It's like Garnacho getting the man of the match for scoring the overhead kick. I think we all knew deep down he wasn't.
Yeah.
Kobe Mainoo was insane in that game for 70 minutes yet. Whoever it was broadcasting that game, give it to Garnacho. Fair enough. Even Bruno joked, didn't he, after, and when he handed him the award and said, you weren't man of the match as a joke kind of thing. But
Would you make any changes for Saturday, anyone? Quickly.
Oh, Linda.
Yeah.
Yeah.
that's one that needs
Victor. I don't think he's having a...
Certainly don't deserve to stay in the team, does he?
I think that little gap in games has affected him now in terms of rhythm. So I think only him, and I'm very caught up. I want to see Kobe Mainoo and Amrabat.
You can't.
But you can't. Yeah, but you can't. Exactly, but you can't.
I think, like you said, I'd probably move Reguilón to left back and... I love Luke Shaw at left back though, it's so tough.
Yeah, it really is.
I wouldn't play him with nothing. It's a tough one, we'll see what Ten Hag does. But guys,
But we won the game with Lindelof on the
quick
pitch.
predictions, will we win against Bournemouth?
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Faz?
Yes.
3 points behind City. Faz, you going to make any outrageous claims?
Title charge.
Yeah.
Top 4 on?
Yeah. If he goes, I think one more game, obviously, as if game week 15, 16. If he wins Bournemouth game, then he's got my faith to the end of the season, because 3 points behind City is obviously it's absurd considering how we're playing. So he's doing okay.
Yeah.
He's won you back over.
It's slightly.
Faz, you make me laugh
Slightly.
so much.
Yes,
It's not a title charge.
But I'll be honest, the Liverpool game, don't want it all going to waste in the Liverpool game.
Liverpool won again today.
I don't want to. And you see how these other teams are churning out results. Like the scoring 3-3 and then they go to 4-3.
Relentless.
Liverpool, Newcastle, they just churn out results. And yes, we're not that level, but we need to get there. Like, we need to start performing at least something like that, because they've got likes of Endo in there, man. Come on, let's be honest.
Don't start talking like that. Anyway, guys, that is the wrap for today's show. We're up early tomorrow, but Mordz, thank you. Kev, thank you. Faz, thank you. Everyone in the chat who watched, thank you. It's just great to get a win. Couple of super chats before we go. Son Heung-min says, Fazit, relax, breathe, inhale, exhale. And Tom Crossan says,
don't know with this team.
Give McTominay some credit. I've been singing McTominay's praises all show. Travelbug says, OMG, I'm United since '63. Panel excited over a win at Chelsea. But we've got to be excited over something. But thank you everyone for getting your comments in the chat all night. We appreciate you. We appreciate all the viewers. Please hit a like on the video. Apparently there was a poll result on the Martinez Shaw one, but I've not been able to see it. But look, everyone, I think Martinez did win it. But
like
thank you,
80%.
everyone. Get your comments in down below, and we'll see you on Saturday for the Bournemouth game.